So here's the following game from Kappa. Kappa playing against another Masters player. Sitting on a pretty good hand, I think. Does have the third land to make sure that he can cast Wisdom of the Elders. Does have a singular green to make sure that he can cast his Vanquishes and his Slays. Doesn't quite have Harsh Rule mana yet, but we're a little ways off from that anyway. Does have the combo of making every enemy's health become 1 and then dealing 1 damage to each enemy. So this is a pretty standard combo for the Feln deck, the Withering Witch plus Black Sky Harbinger. Kappa going to be looking for lands here, making sure that he can get up to this 8 mana to cast Vara, and at the very least make sure that he can get up to 6 mana to cast the Black Sky Harbinger. So Shadow Sigil going to be a pretty good draw here. Wisdom of the Elders going to be available for him to cast. Find the Way coming down for, let's see, Mr. Herkimer Pickles. So we're going to call this guy Pickles. So Pickles going to get a Sigil depleted from his deck and play that Sigil. 1 damage going to come across from Temple Scribe. Potentially. Yeah, going to come in with that Temple Scribe. Bringing the score to 26-24 with the lead going to the enemy, Mr. Pickles. Runic Warhammer, not a good draw here. We can't cast that quite yet. Curious as to why Kappa didn't cast that Wisdom of the Elders. Maybe he has something else in mind. Pickle is going to play a Fire Sigil depleted off the Find the Way. And still not casting the... Oh, he didn't have the second blue. I didn't actually notice. So, a blue coming off the top. That's a good draw for Kappa. And Seek Power, also a very good draw. So, Kappa going to be well on his way to getting his mana rolling. Pickles should have all of his mana ready. Not really sure what he's playing just yet. We'll see an assembly line come down for Mr. Pickles. And 1 damage going to come across again, hitting Kappa in the face for 1. Going down to 22. So this Snowcurse Animus is going to be pretty good if he can get it on the board. However, Black Sky Harbinger will take care of what's going on right now and gain 5 life back. So Kappa back in the lead. Taking over the lead for the first time this game, 27-25. Lightning Strike still available in hand, Withering Witch still available, Vanquish still available, and Runic Warhammer is active because he did draw that second green source. We'll see what Pickles wants to do here. Snowcrush Animus seeing a lot more play lately, which is nice. I think that this card is very good. So we'll see an Owl come down, and Kappa has the option of vanquishing it so that he can just get in for 3, or Runic Warhammering it. So he does opt for the Runic Warhammer here. And I think I like this play. There's really no danger in losing your hammer here or it going to waste in case your opponent has Protect or something similar. Vanquish can go ahead and be countered by a card that gives Aegis. So it's either that, because the timer did stop here for Pickles to react. There's a potential for the Silence Ambush guy to come down here and potentially knock out this guy and then get in for 2. Okay, so nothing coming from Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles going to have access to 7 power on this turn. And Heart of the Vault going to come down and destroy that Runic Warhammer. Oh, okay, so Torch going to come down, kill Black Sky Harbinger. Not scared of the Warhammer just yet. But unfortunately, I think that this guy is going to eat a Vanquish here, and 4 damage going to come across to Mr. Pickles' face. Kappa going to pick up his Runic Warhammer and smash his opponent in the face. But here we go. Claw of the First Dragon. This is the second time that I've seen this card. And it says that when it goes to the graveyard, it will play 4 random 1-cost units, and those aren't 4 random 1-cost units from the deck. If you're new to Eternal, something maybe not intuitive is that it just creates 4 random 1-cost units. They could just be any card that exists in the game. So 2 Forge Wolf's going to come down. That damage going to be blocked by the Aura on Runic Warhammer. But Lightning Storm going to be available to clean up all those 1-drops. So not a bad turn for Kappa here. Not even sure who's winning this game. Both players are pretty solid. I do feel pretty good about Kappa's chances because he does have this Runic Warhammer in play. Obelisk going to come down for Mr. Pickles. And a pass, so we'll see what Pickles has in store here. Potentially an ambush unit or a torch. I apologize if I use the names of magic cards for some cards. It's going to be a hard habit to break, as that is my original game of choice, as I'm sure a lot of viewers have the same experience. So a huge play coming down here for Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles did hit his 8th mana, so Xenon Obelisks, 2 of them, are now giving +2/+2 to all of his units. And that was not a bad draw for Kappa. We'll see Withering Witch come down and not do anything. It will just be a chump blocker this turn. I don't know if I agree with that play, because I don't think... Oh, it becomes 1. So I don't know if that actually offsets the Xenon Obelisk. I don't think it does. I think that ongoing effects will always overwrite what's going on. So I'm not sure that that stand together was worth it. But I don't actually know, to be completely honest. I'm still pretty new at this game. Some of the interactions are weird. But I think that if this sets everybody's power to 1, the Xenon Obelisk will go ahead and give them +2/+2 again. So it probably wasn't necessary for that stand together to come down, as Harsh Rule is going to be a difficult card to overcome, as it already is. So potentially another one sitting in hand for Pickles. Here, and stand together, yeah, going to come down, and I think that's going to lock up the game. That Harsh Rule not going to be good enough. Vara into Black Sky Harbinger maybe does it, because Black Sky, let's see, we can block here, we'll take 13, 21, 27. No, I don't think that that's going to be enough. That stand together was good enough on its own, it looks like. Yeah, and that'll be it for Kappa. So unfortunately, another rough loss for Kappa. Thank you everybody for tuning in. If you want to have your games cast on my channel, you can go ahead and just add me. I'm HayamWolf0856 here. So just if you're thinking, hey, I want some random guy on the internet to talk about my game, go ahead and add me and you can be featured on my channel too. Kappa hopped into another game, so I'm just gonna go ahead and follow it up while we're on this roll here. So not a bad hand here. Herald Song going to smooth out this hand if Kappa gets flooded. So our new opponent, Doobie098, going to lead with a Shadow Sigil. And all 3 colors available for Kappa. I'm going to loot with Herald Song, drawing a Wisdom of the Elders, discarding a Herald Song. So just cycling away that Herald Song here, not a bad option. Wisdom of the Elders available for Kappa this turn, does have the double blue. And 2 lands going to be the draw here. And that's not too bad for this deck. This deck does need to reach at least 6 mana to be operating on this Black Sky Harbinger. Really wants to get at least up to 8. So black-green coming down for the opponent. Vara's favor, going to get Doobie another Shadow Sigil. And a Grasping at Shadows. Going to be the draw for Kappa. That's a good draw. Nothing quite yet going to be available in Kappa's graveyard. But Kappa has a pretty solid position with this 3/5 Death Toucher on the board and Doobie having nothing going on. So Valkyrie and Force are going to come down and silence this, but it still can't block, but at least now Doobie can be trading damage with his opponent instead of just taking 3 a turn. So down to 20 Doobie goes after this attack from Steward of the Past. And we'll see Black Sky Harbinger come down and be able to shut down any potential attacks from this Valkyrie Enforcer. Slay going to kill the Black Sky Harbinger so that this Valkyrie Enforcer can come across and start racing this 3/5. Looks like Doobie may be stuck on power here, and unfortunately for him, Kappa is still developing his mana, getting into a really, really good place where he can be ready to spring his Varas or other 8 drops. There are 8 and 10 drops in Kappa's deck. So things going well for Kappa, finding all of his lands. Slay going to come down on Black Sky Harbinger again after recovering it via the Grasping at Shadows. Privilege of the Rank going to come down and ensure that Kappa does hit that 8th mana. And that was a snap block here. Coming down from Doobie, immediately blocking. Looks like Doobie's getting ready to make some big plays this turn. So did find his 5th mana that could represent Tavrod and Bart. That's interesting. We haven't seen Bart in a little while. Bart did get nerfed. He used to cost 3, and now he costs 4, but his ultimate was lowered to 7, so what we could actually see is another land come down and the 7 be paid on Bart and Azendale's gift come down for Doobie, which would be pretty disastrous for Kappa. Kappa might want to go ahead and try to answer this Bart. So yeah, he is going to try to answer Bart. Kill Strike plus Slay here. Going to take down Bart. Kappa well aware of the Azendale's gift play that could come down, being a Masters player. I am really glad that my first cast got to be with a Masters player. It's a little bit easier for me to talk about. So 6/6 going to be able to block this 5/5. Going to try to stabilize Doobie's board here. And Tavrod going to come down and bait out that Harsh Rule. So I would have liked to see an attack with this first, because I don't think he would have risked the Tavrod. And if he's going to die to Harsh Rule anyway, might as well go ahead and try to get in that extra 3 damage. But unfortunately, Auric Interrogator, one of the best cards, I believe, in the game. I believe that this card might actually be better than Tavrod. Going to draw Doobie another card. We'll likely see it removed here via Vanquish, so Vanquish going to come down, remove that Auric Interrogator, stop that card advantage from coming. But another threat coming in from Doobie, just threat after threat. And 12 mana for Kappa, 12 power for Kappa. Death Strike going to be available for this impending doom. Could potentially take a hit to see if Doobie wants to play a second creature into the Harsh Rule. Could actually probably eat impending doom for 2 or 3 turns even, just to try to see if Doobie wants to commit another creature to the board, and if he doesn't, the clock is still just low enough where Kappa can get a couple more draw steps at the cost of maybe 10 life. He's going to opt to kill Strike here. Preserving his life total seems to be important to him. So Argent Port Instigator coming down. That card is not as big of a clock as Impending Doom. We'll see Tavrod come down and an attack from Argent Port Instigator. So Wisdom of the Elder is going to be an excellent draw for Kappa. 2 cards coming off the top. A Tavrod of his own. And a Harsh Rule coming down. Hopefully we don't see a Protect. And that's good. That'll be 2 damage coming off of Doobie's own Argent Port Instigator to bring Doobie down to 9. we'll very likely see Tavrod come down here and immediately get killed. Since Doobie didn't play anything and he has 3 cards in hand, it's very likely that Doobie's sitting on a ton of removal, as Kappa hasn't really played any creatures. So yeah, Vanquish going to take down that Tavrod. Steward of the Past, a very good draw here for Kappa. This shuts down any potential reanimation effects that would have come down. To get back, there's multiple Tavrods and Bard and some really good cards in the bin. Herald Song going to be the draw for Kappa. So going to draw Tavrod. I don't know if I would have released that Herald Song. I think I actually would have pitched the Vanquish, as Doobie is running out of cards here, and the Singleton Slay plus Tavrod is going to be enough, and I do believe that Doobie is sitting on removal only, so the single Slay would have been enough, and that Herald Song could potentially pitch any lands that come off the top. So Tavrod going to threaten Doobie here. The other thing that I think I would have kept the Herald Song for is if this Tavrod gets to attack, Kappa is playing, let's see if I can find the card because I can't remember the name, Privilege of the Rank. So it draws 2 Justice Sigils from your deck, but if it's discarded, you get to play it for free. And when Tavrod attacks, he will discard the top 5 cards of your library. So if he happens to discard a Privilege of the Rank, Kappa will draw 2 Justice Sigils, which are excellent to discard to Herald Song at this point, sitting on 13 power. So Doobie going to think about his play here. Might be out of removal now. 2 cards in hand, but at 9, so a 2-turn clock. Tavrod threatening to take down this game by himself. So again, if you want to add me to your friends list and have one of your games cast, you can. I'm HamWolf0856. I assume that if you add me, that I can cast your games, so don't be too embarrassed. Bear your mistakes for the world to see. So Tavrod going to come in, and he's going to find an Auric Runehammer and pitch a bunch of pretty good cards. I think I saw Vera in there, so yeah, Vera going to the bin, Withering Witch going to the bin, and Kappa is running cards that reanimate the board. But he is going to go ahead and take this Auric Runehammer that he got off of Tavrod and finish his opponent off. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Once again, I am HamWolf0856. I'll try to put that in the description. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this cast. If you have any suggestions, comments, or whatever, go ahead and throw it down below. You can email me. I'm hamwolfgwent@gmail.com. Gwent is the game that I cast before Eternal, and I hopefully will go back to casting Gwent as soon as Gwent gets a observation function or a replay function or something similar. And maybe I will go ahead and cast some games of my own. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is my first cast. I'm HamWolf, and thank you everybody. This is HamWolf, signing off.